Hello, my fellow chef knives enthusiasts.
Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. In this video I'm going to unbox, demonstrate and review my Masakage Kumo Nakiri. But first let me tell you a little bit about Masakage and the people behind this brand. Masakage Knives was founded in 2007 by Takayuki Shibata. His goal was to help some of the artisans in Takafu Knife Village in Japan to showcase their talents as well as their Japanese knives. Thus, Masakage is a small collective of Japanese master bladesmiths: Hiroshi Kato, Katsushige Anryu, and Yu Kurosaki. Takeshi Saji also was added to this group. So here's a group of Japanese master blacksmiths and one master knife sharpener combining forces to create these beautiful and amazing Japanese knives. It's like a J-pop band on crack. On crack! They are all renowned for producing quality chef's knives. Each of their knives have that intangible quality of being handmade and therefore just a little bit unique and personal. Shibata-san oversees the sharpening of every single Masakage knife. Shibata-san is considered to be the Lionel Messi of knife sharpening by a lot of people in the knife community for a reason. The Masakage knives are made in a variety of styles to suit different tastes in aesthetics. This Which Masakage is Right For You guide on the Knifeware website is a really handy tool. Whatever your priorities are, their chart definitely helps you make the right choice. So you have the Masakage Kumo, which is the series where my Nakiri comes from. Originally it was made by Katsushige Anryu before he got retired, of course. And ever since Katsushige Anryu retired, this line of knives is made by his nephew Takumi Ikeda, who was taught very well by Katsushige, because my Kumo Nakiri is definitely a fantastic knife. Then you have the Masakage Koishi. They are forged by Yoshimi Kato. Then you have the Masakage Mizu, also originally forged by Katsushige Anryu but now by Takumi Ikeda. You have the Masakage Kiri by Yoshimi Kato, the Masakage Yuki by Yoshimi Kato, the Masakage Shimo by Yu Kurosaki, and the Masakage Zero by Takeshi Saji. Masakage describes their knives as knives to fall in love with. I basically like all of the Masakage series, but I can't really go out there and buy a knife from all of the Masakage series. Well, I actually could, but I don't think my wallet would agree. I made myself choose to buy only one Masakage knife. As the sucker for demis that I am. Demi means Damascus for those who don't know the knife slang. So I personally really love the elegance and beauty of the Masakage Kumo series. That's why I couldn't resist buying the Masakage Kumo Nakiri a couple of years ago. But yeah, all of the Masakage series are kind of easy to get a crush on. If you are a Japanese chef knife enthusiast like me and fortunate enough, you are probably going to end up with one of their handiworks in your kitchen someday. Okay, enough talking about Masakage. So let's unbox this knife. The box is beautiful, beautiful blue color with the Masakage brand on it. Let's look at the knife. The unveil. Just look at it. Look at it! Is that sexy or what?
What do you use to suck up all the drool from looking at it?
The drool keeps my whetstones ready. They are drool and go stones. If a cat is interested in a knife, it usually means it's pretty sharp and pretty well made, and that he likes the makers of the knife. My cat is kind of making out with this Masakage Kumo Nakiri right now. Daaaamn-ascus. I love this subtle hint of nickel in there. I would definitely not say this is a colored Damascus or a rainbow Damascus knife, but that subtle hint of nickel in contrast with that really dark Damascus, it's really something else. I really love that. It gives this blade a very distinct look. It's just fucking gorgeous. The VG10 core steel that makes up the cutting edge of this knife is heat treated to a hardness of 6162 HRC. Although there are many knife nerds out there that don't seem to like VG10 steel and or had bad experience with it, I have a couple of VG10 blades in my collection and I don't have anything against it. All my VG10 blades are pretty good performers. I guess it depends on which bladesmith forged the VG10 blade to determine if you have a good or less than good or bad experience. But there must be a reason why VG10 is a popular stainless steel offering that is found in many high-end knives from various manufacturers from around the globe. If VG10 is really that bad, then why are all these amazing bladesmiths making knives with this steel? The stainless steel and nickel cladding is layered multiple times around the VG10 core, which, when ground to taper the blade to make the edge, reveals the many layers to create that mesmerizing appearance of storm clouds. Hence the name Kumo, which means clouds in Japanese. The grind of this knife is really nice. Very thin behind the edge, really nice tapering from the spine. The blade is very thin and manually sharpened by Takeyuki Shibata himself. The sharpness of this blade has to be sampled to believe, and it actually retains that edge for plenty of time too. And just looking at it right now, I also noticed that I forgot to mention the amazing spine on this knife. It's a little bit thick at the tang and then tapers down really nice to the tip. So let's put this knife to action then. A fairly big cabbage like this is maybe easy to cut, but the size of it and the relatively smaller size of this Nakiri, I don't think it's a great match. Normally I would just grab my Masamoto KS or another 24 centimeter Gyuto to take care of these cabbages. A cucumber, as it should, is no contest. I'm not using any pressure to cut through this cucumber. Push cutting a cucumber is always one of my favorite zen moments in the kitchen. It's just really a fun activity to do. This tall blade also works as an excellent scoop. Even though this blade is really thin and quite delicate, I never felt I was going to chip this knife when chopping a cucumber. It's such a wonderfully made knife, so thin and sharp. Whole vegetables entering my kitchen look so choppable like other rappers do to the Genius. Liquid Swords reference! I hate it when scallion is cut too thick. The flavor of the scallion can be overpowering the rest of the dish if you just use it as a garnish, like I do with this scallion. So yeah, I really want the scallion to be sliced thinly, and there's nothing better than using a really thin, nice Nakiri to slice scallion really thinly. Same goes for this shallot, which I also use as part of a topping of my dish. So I really want it to be sliced thinly. With this Masakage Kumo Nakiri, it's no problem. The knife performs great for this type of purposes. I hardly feel anything during cutting with my hand that is holding a knife, but it definitely caught myself smiling through the experience. It's awesomeness. It's great. It also bites through the skin of a tomato very easily. I'm not really a fan of cutting stuff like this to show off the sharpness of a blade, but yeah, this knife made it so easy that I couldn't help myself, I guess. But basically, cutting through a skin of a tomato or biting through a skin of a tomato or a bell pepper, yeah, this knife does it easily. No problem whatsoever, it just glides through it like there ain't no such thing as friction. Even a dense produce like this carrot with no pressure on the blade at all, it just glides through it. No such thing as wedging or cracking, it's just slicing through this carrot as if it's not even there. Same story as the carrot, a sweet potato, also of course a dense hard produce. I really love how easily it slides through the sweet potato. It's just that the food release of this blade is not really good, to say the least. It depends, I guess, also on your cutting technique, because with some cuts the sweet potato does just fall off the blade, like here. But most of the times the sweet potato sticks to the blade, which means it will get in the way of your finger, which is quite frustrating if you need to work fast. So yeah, food release, especially with this sweet potato, definitely not good. Cutting tofu, definitely no contest, definitely not a challenge. A thin knife like this doesn't damage the tofu sometimes. If you cut tofu with a blunt or not a delicate knife like this, it can easily break off and stuff like that. What's my end verdict of this knife? The Japanese have a long tradition of an attitude to quality, which might best be summed up as it's not done until it's perfect. It seems that whatever they do, they always strive for perfection. All in all, there is just pretty much nothing I could fault on this knife. The fit and finish is absolutely fantastic. It's a pretty tall Nakiri if you compare it to most of the Nakiris that I have. The handle is very light and I love my Nakiris front heavy. If used with a pinch grip, it just works. The rounded off tip of the edge definitely makes it possible to rock with it too. The classic Masakage sharpness out of the box, thanks to Shibata, is of course excellent. This thing definitely lives up to being a veggie knife. This thing just bullied the vegetables I was cutting. This knife is really a treat, and while not the cheapest, I think they are worth the money. Yes, of course, like many Damascus blades, you pay a lot for the looks of this blade. And you might have knives that perform as good or maybe even better for less money than a Masakage Kumo. But There's nothing wrong to spend money on something that looks better, now does it? Does this Kumo Nakiri look better than this Takamura Chromix Nakiri? Yeah, in my opinion, it does. Does it perform better? In my opinion, not necessarily. They are both really nice performance. The Takamura has a slightly thicker grind, so you can use it more aggressively. It's more like a workhorse than this Kumo Nakiri, which is ground a lot thinner. So it's a more delicate knife, and I wouldn't recommend this knife to be your workhorse. But yeah, both of these knives I love because of their performance and their looks. The only difference is this knife was about 2.5 times more expensive than this knife. So if you're on a budget and you're just looking for a great knife that performs well, then definitely I would go for the Takamura Chromix Nakiri instead of the Masakage Kumo Nakiri. But it's your decision, it's your wallet. All I know is that when I'm cutting with this Masakage Kumo Nakiri, it looks so good that I'm with my head in the Kumo stormy clouds. I wouldn't say this is a starter knife because it is very thin and quite delicate. But yeah, if you are looking for a really beautiful Damascus knife, this is a knife for you. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, this. Enough said. Enough said. Mwah. See you later.